Hey, you guys, on today's show, free Iran is going on around us like banana sandwiches. And I had to talk to my friend Brian Taef, who is an Iranian dissident who lives here now. And you're going to love this interview. So stick around for this today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. Show your fucking money.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Angela, how are you?
Do you remember the last time we talked and I mangled your name?
I recall.
Actually, I want everyone to see this. Roll this funny little clip. Let me let Brian know the number to call in. Oh no! God! Oh no! This thing, y'all. If you could see the shenanigans that's going on right now, you'd be like, "This girl needs some serious help." This thing will not stay on my ear. Brian, is it? How do you say your last name? Taef. Taef. I'm gonna f that up, dude. Taef. Okay. Taef. Stand by. Welcome back to the Angela Box Show. I'm really excited to talk to a gentleman that I actually met virtually. Brian Taef. Taef. I'm gonna screw it up. Say it again, please, Brian. Oh, you're so welcome. All right, guys. You're listening to the Angela Box Show. We'll be right back. Clear. Thanks, Brian. That was wonderful. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. I had like a total mental block about your name. I couldn't say it. But now I say
No
it,
judgment. Don't feel bad because English is my third language. I struggle with it all the time. So nobody's judging you for any of that.
I love Brian's humble brag on his trilingual skills. Very good. You're like, well, I speak 3 languages, so okay, let's talk about the good stuff because thought of you today, obviously. You are an Iranian, and I want just tell your story about when you came here, and then we're gonna get your reaction to everything.
Well, I've been here since 2003. My family fled Iran back in 2000 because we were religious minorities, and when you're a religious minority in Iran, you have a bullseye on your back. So my first,
didn't you say you were a Baha'i?
I grew up as Baha'i. That was the reason that we fled Iran. That's the reason we got our papers in the US. But when you grow up in a country like the Islamic Republic, you become very distrusting of God. And I went through that stage of my life where I was like, all right, there's no religion. I wasn't happy with the Baha'i faith because it validated Islam as the faith of God. And I was like, all right, if you think that's from God, I can't take anything else you say seriously after that. So I went through this stage. I was like, there's no God. I made a reel about this the other day, actually. There was writing on the walls of Auschwitz that say that it was written, if there's a God, he needs to beg for my forgiveness. And growing up, being discriminated against you for no reason for anything that you've done as a kid, as a child. I was like in elementary school when I experienced all of that. Then going to live as a refugee in Turkey for 3 years, not enough food, not enough anything, no school. You become very cynical about the existence of God. If there's God, where is he? So I struggled with that growing up. Then I went against the idea of God and religion altogether till I was in my early 20s. And I was like, all right, you can't have an ignorant position. If I'm going to go against what I think I'm going against, the same way as Islam, I was forced to read the Quran back in Iran, believe it or not. That's a class in a school. So like, I know this.
I want to hear what that was like.
It's great. I can write a whole book about it. But so like, I knew what was in
bloodthirsty surahs for us.
Yeah. So I knew what was in there. And I was like, if there's a God and you tell me that's a representation of it, I want no part of it. Then I met a lot of people here in US and I was like, they got a piece that I don't. I have hurt feelings. That's what I'm dealing with. If I'm going to say there's no God, let me go study what God is in truth. So I studied started studying the Torah. I studied Christianity. I studied the New Testament, the Old Testament. I went to as far as the Buddhist, Falun Gong, the Scientology, the Church of Mormons. I was like, all right, let's see what it is. And
You're just taking in all the information.
because otherwise you
Yeah.
just have a view that's based out of your own personal experiences rather than actual facts of the situation. We all have our own experiences in life, some good, some bad. And that defines, in my view, how you should think, but it shouldn't automatically define how you should have your convictions on, if that makes sense. So when I read the Bible, I was like, there's something there. Then I read it again. Then I read it again. I went to the Old Testament, New Testament, and I was like, there's something different here than everything else I read. Then I started talking to pastors. I started talking to my friends, and they're like, the Holy Spirit, don't just read the Bible, pray on it before you read the Bible. And I joke you not, Angela. As soon as I started doing that, the Holy Spirit like literally came through me and gave me the peace that I there's no human way of me explaining it. And so
you're smiling. This is such a great story.
Well, today's a great day all around.
It is a
like
great day
that
all
story
around.
touches me because let me tell you this, Angela. The last 2 months, watching the footages that's coming out of Iran, that was one aspect of my life. Then reading all the horrendous thing that's in the Epstein file, and like there was moments that I was like, I can't, like, it should be hard to breathe for a person. Then I was like, why am I not tripping out? Why am I not freaking out in the face of this much evil? And I was like, there's no other explanation for that beside God either, because the peace that you have in him, you don't have it anywhere else. When you put your trust in him and not other human beings, there's no disappointment, because, you know, the story has been written from the beginning to the end, and we all play our own characters in this. But the main character, Ardi, gone, and is coming back. And we have a small part to play. And I think a lot of us get tied up by like our own experiences, and we forget this is not our story, it's his story. We are supporting character, and play your supporting character as the best as you possibly can.
That is Brian. Chills.
That's how I feel. I thought about this a lot, because the more you struggle with something, the more you think about it. The more you think about it, the more the thought process gets put into this. There's no rationalization of this feeling. That's what I keep saying. When Jesus said, my peace will be with you, my yoke is easy, this is that feeling to me. When I read those words later, because I go back and I still reread it, because it's timeless. The word of God is a living word, right? So no matter how many times you read it, you take something new from it every single time.
Well, that's why I always say in my videos, thy will be done. That's what I say every time. But I want to this could go on for hours. And I love your C.S. Lewis level of evangelism. It's great. You know, the zeal of the convert, there's really nothing like it. But you growing up, you know, you and Justin Baldoni, we all know about Baha'i now, thanks to Justin Baldoni. But you know, you grew up as a religious minority, so your family fled. And how hard was that? Like, was it like leaving the Soviet Union back in the day? Like, did you have to be smuggled out, or like, how did that even work?
Literally that. My family was on we escaped by foot. We had no passport because we were second class citizens basically in our own country. So we had no access to passports. So we had to flee from Iran to Turkey on foot. It took us about a week. It was like yay high to my height at that point. I was only 11 years old. We were walking on like roughly 4 or 5 feet of snow. We were shot at during that week of journey. All the way to the point that we crossed the border from Iran to Turkey, and the coyotes took us right in front of the UN station and told us, this is where we're going to drop you off, and you go there and turn yourself in and create your case, which we did.
So let me get this straight. As refugees seeking asylum, you went to the first country over, unlike
that's what the law says. That's what the law says. The process of immigration exists because of the law of immigration. It says that at the first point of crossing where there's a UN station, you surrender yourself. At that point, you have no rights. You're a guest in somebody else's country through the blessing of the United Nations, and you wait there patiently your turn. And speaking of that, we were 6 months into our refugee status when we were waiting for a flight schedule to come from Turkey to US. And then unfortunately 9/11 happened. So
Wow.
understandably, we had to stay there for another 2 years and a half. So like more FBI and security checks were being conducted on us. And that wasn't just us.
Were you in like a tent city or like a
No.
dorm, or?
So there's a border town called Van. When I was there, this is 25 years ago, that city was like a village. Because the Iranian diaspora has grown so much, actually that border city between Iran and Turkey in Turkey has turned into like one of the major economical booms of Turkey. Because
That's so
like the diaspora goes there to see their own families because they can't go past the border to Iran. So the family come right to the border outside of Iran so they can't see their family from US.
Oh my God. That is, what an Brian, that is an incredible, that's incredible. And I mean, there's, again, this is such a multi-year, multi-layered thing, but do you remember when the Shah was deposed in 70, was it 78? It was 79, right?
Well, I don't know how old you think I am.
I honestly don't know. I mean, if you're, I mean,
no, I'm only 36.
Like, born then?
Yeah, that was 11 years before I was born.
Okay.
So like, yeah, unfortunately, I have no record.
You're ageless, like me.
I say all the time, I'm like Peter Pan. I never age. So
that's right.
You're the female version of Peter Pan.
When we got married, and we like made each other hotter, which was kind of a clue that you're with the right person. I was like, I tell everyone, I'm like, my husband and I, we've decided not to age. So we're not, that's just, it's not for us.
Seriously, if you can choose your gender.
Listen, this can go on forever and a day. But so you were not born when the Shah was deposed, but your parents were. Did they? Because you know we've seen pictures of Beirut in the '60s, and it looked like the Riviera. Was it that dramatic of a change from kind of a westernized Middle East to Islamic?
Absolutely. It's the contrast is between day and night. Back in the 70s, pre-revolution, Americans were like, especially the hipster crowd. I lived on the northern side by the Caspian Sea, so it's like close to the beach. My dad has a bunch of pictures when he was like younger than me, and he showed me those. You see bunch of Americans and Europeans in bikinis, along with Iranians in bikinis and shorts, having drinks, having a good time. The Iran and the West were connected. Yeah, back in the day. After the revolution, Iran literally went back thousands of years. The Shia religion was created like about 1,200, 1,300 years ago. We literally went back as a country from 79 all the way back to pre-Islamic time in a matter of months. There were tens of thousands of people who were killed then the same way we saw 2 months ago. So this regime's playbook has always been the same: death and destruction. It's all about control and power. That's all they know, and they don't care who has to pay what price for them to accomplish it.
You know what's wild to me? It's like, yeah, they want to. It's, you know, the irony is like, what are you complaining about? You want to live in the 7th century. You know, you leftists who are cucking for Islam now. It completely blows my mind. And the only reason they're cucking for Islam is because they hate the West and they associate the West with Trump and America. And because they hate Trump and America, they have to side with the mullahs and the 7th century cave dwellers. Like it blows me away what the left is doing. Not only, you know, with your situation, but with Venezuela. And, you know, who knows who's next? It's like, there's not a terrorist these people don't support. They support the Palestinians and the people who massacred and murdered people up close and personal in Israel on October 7th. And we're supposed to take these people seriously.
There's no sense in the American left anymore.
No.
that has any sort of logic. Literally, President Trump could cure cancer right now.
Yes.
There would be for cancer. I
Yeah,
never
they'd be
envisioned
like,
the
no, we
world.
like cancer. It makes us money.
But Angela, that's what scares me as an American, because if we don't have our own people emotionally sound and intellectually logical, these are voting blocks. These are the same people that are attacking ICE while they're performing their federal duties. So like, you mentioned Islam in this, and I think it's a big part of it. The Democrats are the same group of people who elected Mamdani. They're the same group of people who elected Ilhan Omar. So like,
Ilhan.
yeah,
And the beautiful Rashida Tlaib, that fetching lady.
And I encourage everybody, seriously, I don't want people to just be anti-Islam. I want them to have an educational knowledge about why they're anti-Islam. The same mentality that you're talking about, these are spoken about in the Quran. They talk about the Islamic Caliphate. So for them to have the Islamic Caliphate, they have to have Islamic government. How do you have Islamic government in the West, especially US? By overthrowing the system that we have right now. So that process is already ongoing.
Yep.
And like, what makes me scared is like, in the name of acceptance and tolerance, Americans, reasonable Americans, are looking the other way. It's like, oh, well, they just believe in God. Well, no, you got to see who that God is. You can't just throw the word God and say this is their faith and you have to respect that faith.
It's like,
is that God merciful?
It's like, you guys, they're stopping traffic in basically Times Square to thousands just la 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 la, pray at one time. Like, this isn't normal.
I don't even have a problem with that. But who are you praying to? What are you praying? If you're praying to somebody that married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage at 9, is that, in what world would that be God? Seriously,
we are not the same.
Like, that's not God. That's the opposite of God.
Yeah.
And if a human being, you're put in a situation that you can differentiate between what righteousness and what God is, and what is marrying a 6-year-old and consummating it with a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple. That's rape. There is no other way to
pedophilia, which is done in a lot of Islamic
not
countries.
Normalizing it, Angela. This is celebrating it. This is celebrating it. They say Muhammad is the most holiest man in the world.
Yep. That's a great point, because I am loath to lump everybody into one, all Muslims are this. I'm loath to do that. However, that clarifying statement you just said really kind of sums it up. Your main boo, your prophet, like, on purpose married a 6-year-old. She wasn't like, flaunting her feminine wiles or something. Like, I was fooled. I thought she was 18. He on purpose married a 6-year-old and then had sex with her when she was 9.
Yeah.
In the history of mankind, that has never been okay. So if that is your prophet of your religion, maybe you should rethink your religion. Muslim.
Absolutely. But Angela, I got like 4 more minutes before I gotta hop on the next one. But let's talk about the Iran thing real quick, if I can.
Yeah.
President Trump, I had my hesitation about him actually following through, and he proved me wrong. I've never been more proud of anybody proving me wrong than this moment. This is not just for the safety of America. This is the regime that killed over 1,300 of our American soldiers in Iraq alone. This is the regime that exports proxies of terror all around the globe. What they've done to the Iranian people in the last 2 months is crimes against humanity.
Yes.
The numbers I'm hearing from the people on the ground is 75,000 people dead within weeks. It's women being raped in prison in the name of Allah because they're captures. They consider them captures of war. So they're the spoils of war, because the people who are out there on the street protesting for liberty or wanting revolution, they're called the enemy of God. So if your God is one that allows you to marry a 6-year-old and consummate it at 9, this is the same God that will let you rape women in prison who just want nothing but freedom. All the Iranian people are saying, I want to drink 9-year-old wine, not a screw 9-year-old children. That's all they're asking for.
That's it. That's it. And we're tired of wearing, beekeeper outfits. Like, we want to look normal. We want to feel beautiful as women and not like we're chattel. Like, again, if this is your religion, and I mean, but not to put a too fine a point on it, the left is celebrating this. The left is like, Islam is if we had to have, I mean, we don't believe in God, we're godless freaks, but if we had to have a religion, like, Islam is way up there. Like, I don't get it. They hate Trump that much. It's crazy.
We cannot put left and into any arguments or conversation about logic. I come to realize that few years ago when the George Floyd thing happened, and I was like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Seriously, I'm like, you have a reason. Is cops are perfect? No. You want to fix them? I'm with you. Nobody's perfect. Every industry can improve. How do we improve it? Let's burn down the doors. What do you like? And they were like, why are we stopping them? Why are we arresting? Because they're burning down the stores. Like, what?
And they're black, and black people can't help it. Ask Gavin Newsom.
That interview of Gavin was painful to watch.
I'm talking about it this week on the show because, I mean, it's like, keep showing that ass, Governor Patrick Bateman. But I digress. Let's finish up because I know you have to go. Because Brian is going to see the filthy leftists protesting over in the Galleria. Can you please send me back some intel, like some video?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I got you.
We'll put it at the end of this video. A bunch of leftists showing that ass. One last thing. Two things. Is your family that is still there? Have you spoken with them? And what happens now? How hard is it going to be for the Iranian people to, number one, completely overthrow the regime and then form a new government?
So this didn't just happen overnight. This has been in the plans between our government, the Israeli government, and the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. That's the guy's name that everybody should remember because we're gonna hear about that a lot more often.
He was the Shah's son when he was.
He was the Shah's son. He's the official Crown Prince. The next few days, it's going to be military battles. President Trump and the Crown Prince both mirror the same message that you will stay inside your homes, and people are not even listening to that because they're outside in the streets celebrating. As bombs are falling on Iran territory, the Iranian people are in the streets celebrating that. But I got like 2 minutes, so let me get to this real quick. The goal is wait for the call of action to come from the Crown Prince. When the military operation, the first round of this operation is done, the call of action is going to go from the Crown Prince Pahlavi to the Iranian people. And when that happens, they rise up again and take control over the Iranian government themselves. The United States and Israel done all we can do. We're going to do that within the next few days. But ultimately, the fate of Iran lies in the hand of the Iranian people. I don't want American soldiers' foot in the Iranian country or any other country that don't have a direct conflict with us. Our soldiers are valuable people of our society, and I'm sick and tired of like risking them for the sake of battle.
And I don't think that's what Trump is doing. He's just bombing.
And he's not. He's not. He made that very clear. I respect him a lot for that. But my perception is this: in about 3 days, this military operation is going to be done. When that's done, the call of action from the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is going to go out to the Iranian people. They will rise up. How bloody that battle would be once again has a lot to do about how successful this military operation that we are doing right now is. The supreme leader of Iran is eliminated. Majority of the leadership.
Khomeini is dead.
May he not rest in peace.
May he burn in hell. Along
For
with
real.
the
During the 12-day war, the U.S. and Israel, give credit to Israel, that did most of the heavy lifting during that 12-day. They eliminated, out of the 12 of them, out of the 20 high-ranking members of the Iranian government, 12 of them were eliminated then. Right now, we have the supreme leader eliminated and another 6 or 7. So there is no leadership. There's nobody with the experience to lead the Iranian military. So if we consistently do this again and again for the next 2-3 days, we've been told 4 days. When this 4 days is over, this regime should be barely like breathing. so the people can easily tip it over.
I
And
mean,
one
I'm
thing,
chilled, Brian. This is
if we
amazing.
don't, if they do survive the 4 days, the world is gonna witness more atrocities. Unfortunately, that's an honest observational aspect of this. If we don't make him super weak, when people rise up, they were shooting people with 50 caliber machine guns,
Oh my
Angela.
God.
I served in the military. People who served in the military would understand this. If 50 cal ammunition can go past your head without touching it, and it would take the piece of your head with it. These are not weapons that you use with protesters. These are weapons that you use against the military. So in this 4 days, it's very detrimental to how much we hurt them. And I have full faith in Israel and our military and our intelligence community to identify exactly where and what we need to hit to make that possible.
I'm so excited. And one last thing, I think it's a real show of force by President Trump, and that basically all the Gulf states, all the Middle Eastern countries, save. I mean, I guess I should say there are quite a few Middle Eastern countries who are condemning Iran and standing with us in Israel, which is remarkable.
Well, the triangle that's being built right now between Israel and US and Iran, I think this would be a power triangle that would be life-changing in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we see anything more detrimental than this alliance that's getting built right now. Iran is not just important to Iranians. It's important to the world because they export proxies of terror all around the globe, all the way down to Mexico. If you think they don't work with the cartel, you're out of your mind. Okay,
so tell everyone how they can follow you, find you. We're definitely going to have you back. What a great day. All right, Brian Taef.
So all my handles are under the same, Brian with the I. Last name is Taef. So I'm on all platforms. But yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for covering this and being a voice of the people of Iran in the middle of all this.
It's like I'm having serious deja vu. It's exactly what happened with Venezuela, and the same awful people were against it.
No,
I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be quick. This is not World War III. This is not what we're doing.
Angela, remember this. We cannot fix the stupid, but all we can do is to stand on the right side of the history and trust God's plan. And He's a good God, always.
Yes, He is. That will be done. All right, guys.
I will be done.
Brian, great interview. Right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. God bless you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Wow, what an interview. Okay, that guy's awesome. Like, seriously. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave today's show. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Remember to keep kicking ass and taking names, and to always let. That will be done. Peace.